Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to show you the basic techniques of topiary and how you can make yourself a really simple topiary pyramid. Let's get to it. Today I'll be working with this yew. However, the skills that I'll be showing you are transferable to many other evergreen and deciduous shrubs that can be topiaried, such as ligustrum, privet, buxus and conifer, to name a few. First thing you want to do is work out the size of your pyramid. So that's going to be the height, the width and the depth. Then we're going to use those measurements to create a framework to help guide you to create that perfect pyramid shape. So with your bamboo canes or metal rods, you take the measurements of the base, and for each corner of the square base you're going to put one of these and tie it at the top at whatever measurement you want the height. Once you have those, every year you can go back to these measurements and get it perfect every time. In this instance, it's really helpful because I've got something to measure off, which will help me get the yew square with the pathway and the wall. So for this one, I've measured 4 inches from the wall and 10 inches from the pathway there. So that is my first corner. From that one, I'm going to measure 20 inches across, then 4 inches from the back on the other side, and then the last one will be 20 inches. So this one that I'm creating is actually 20 inches from there to there and 24 from there to there. And then that way it stays nice and wide in that bed to hide the wall. So now you've got that set up, you just need to measure the height to tie these guys up together to finish that framework. Sometimes you are going to need to take the top out so you've got enough space to tie these together. And something else to consider is you don't want these to bulge out. So sometimes you may need to pull them out and stick them back in again at that angle to prevent them bowing as you tie and push it down. I like to use one of the rubber metal ties, reusable. I use it year after year to tie these up. Just to show you up close, so what I did was I measured 195 to just under there. So that is the overall height. Something also worth doing is once you've got your pyramid structure around your shrub, get a plumb line from the top of the structure and make sure it lands in the center of the shrub. So then you know you're going to have a straight pyramid. And that's the framework. Although it's quite hard to see with the camera, once you get in there with your shears, hedge cutter or secateurs, that's your framework that's going to guide you to get that shape. And you can see there's quite a bit that's going to need to come off there. When it comes to topiary, you can use a simple pair of secateurs to create your shape. However, to get a cleaner and sharper result, sometimes it's better to use a pair of shears, or you can step it up one more and get a small hedge cutter. So by using these canes, they will simply guide you to creating that straight and the parallel sides. So you're resting your shears along that line and simply cutting and working your way through. Now, something to note is if you come across something a little bit too thick for your shears, take your pair of secateurs and cut it back a little bit deeper than you normally would. Then next year you won't have that problem again and new leaves will emerge to fill the gap. So that's these two sides done. Now I don't know if you noticed, I did shake these a couple of times just to make sure as I was cutting I wasn't pushing them in or prying them out or catching them, to make sure they were back in their position. And also you'll find little bits that need cutting will sometimes catch behind there, so it's good to give it a bit of a shake. So you can get rid of any other little bits that you may have left. Now for this side, I want to show you how quick and easy it is to do it with a small hedge cutter. Now that was a lot quicker than using the shears. However, a sharp pair of shears to go over the end gives it a really nice finish. Now the last thing to do is obviously take this framework off and then sharpen and tidy up any of these corners or the top that you couldn't access because of the canes. Something to note is if you do have anything like this, where it's stuck out, cut it away and inside. So then next time when you cut with your hedge cutter or shears, it's a nice easy cut. Another point when it comes to these cuts is cut them in and at an angle away so you don't see the white fresh cut. Similarly on these, if you cut them like that, you're still going to see that butt end. So if you do them at an angle away, it hides the cut within the hedge there. And that's the end result. Nice clean sharp topiary pyramid. In the future I'd like to sharpen the top, as it's a little bit rounded at the moment, so I might do an early prune next year to catch it while it's young, to train it to get that sharp point. Here's one I've done earlier, which has the same measurements as that one. So as you walk down here, you've got that symmetry in the garden. And you can see on this one, I have to take this one back a little bit harder on the side. However, they both match up and marry quite neatly. Here is the smaller one that I'm developing, that over time will start to thicken up and be as bushy as the other two. As you can see, I've had to do some quite hard cuts, as it really did try to grow out to be more of a bush. So I've clipped it in to create more of a sharp topiary pyramid look. And you've got these gaps here at the back, which will eventually fill in the more you prune it. So if you can do a couple of prunes a year, then that will keep them nice and tight, So as I said earlier in the video, this method is transferable to other shrubs. Here we've got a privet, also known as ligustrum. So at the moment it's a ball shape. However, if we measure the same base or a different size base, if you want it a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, and create the pyramid shape, if you cut this every year into this shape, using this framework with the same measurements, you'll create a pyramid. And it doesn't stop there. As long as you know your measurements, you can change it to whatever shape you'd like. You can put some bamboo canes at the top to tie and create a perfect rectangle, make it lower, create a perfect square, and there's various other adaptations to this method. That's it for this video. Hope you found it useful and entertaining. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Anyone who does so really helps the channel grow and is much appreciated. If you're interested in this sort of content, have a look at my channel. I've got lots of videos on pruning, planting and gardening tips and tricks. Catch you on the next one. Cheers.